What's good, Elevators? It's your boy Elevation here with another episode of the JBP Elevated, where we speak on the Joe Budden podcast and all of his co-hosts on and off the pod. Guys, I promise I'm not doing the paid promo. I promise I'm not just saying this just because it's different content on the Joe Budden Network. The Ian and Mark show is actually funny if they continue to put money behind it. If they continue to step the editing up, if they continue to hire writers and step the writing up, this show is going to go somewhere. It's hilarious. Let's get this out the way. All respect due. Everyone was noticing how fine Dr. Melyssa Val is, so I thought I'd give her a shout out real quick. She is beautiful, but I'm not looking at her like that. I'm sorry, guys. I can't do that. I don't do that to other men's women. But anyway, this show was taking shot after shot after shot after shot at Melyssa. Golly. It all started off, everybody's picking up on the hospital pick. And that was funny. This whole show was funny. But Mark doing the hospital pick, putting it on Instagram, and Ian saying, I don't think professionals do that. This is absolutely a shot at Melyssa Ford. If this holds any weight or any credence, they're letting us know through this episode exactly what is happening with Melyssa Ford. Ian already said on the Spaces, I remember him saying this on Spaces, not the actual Spaces, just everybody talking about the Spaces. He said, I wish I could tell y'all guys the truth. I genuinely want to just tell y'all the truth, but y'all wouldn't believe me. I've been telling y'all for a long time. Melyssa implemented this absence. This has nothing to do with Joe. She's trying to show her real value. But Joe's not wasting any time. He had the audition with Sasha. He already hired Mona. I'm telling y'all he's going to hire more people because Mona wasn't a replacement for Flip like Flip thinks she is. Mona was there to offset Melyssa's absence. And she was going to do that one way or another because Joe was letting it be known that Melyssa was going to have to show up once a week going forward type shit because that's what she wanted. She was trying to get all these things implemented thinking that Joe was just going to cower to her, and it didn't work like that. But let me stop speculating. And the only reason haven't been speculating on it as much is because she's not doing Hot and Bothered either. If she was still doing Hot and Bothered, I would have made way more speculations about what's going on with Melyssa Ford. But since she's not, it really does kind of leave it up in the air because initially she was making Hot and Bothered episodes, but then she stopped and then the hospital pick came out. So me personally, I'm not going to speculate, but because Joe said last episode that he is anticipating Melyssa to come back, they clearly have spoken to her since then. Does it mean, how would you feel if your workplace did in essence make a show or made a big spectacle of what it was you were doing in your absence from work? How would you feel coming back to that same job? And not only is it public fodder, it's purposefully being made public fodder. And like I said, this was probably the funniest Ian and Mark episode, and that's saying a lot because I feel like every Thursday they come out with an episode, I'm coming out with an episode saying how funny it is. So I don't know. If I'm Melyssa Ford, I'm looking at all this shit sideways. Like, what the fuck is going on? And then, shout out to Joe. Even Joe is participating more in the Ian and Mark show. It doesn't seem like he's having his chain yanked. It seems like he's there willingly. They got Corey in there doing the interrogation questions. I thought Corey was funny. It's dope that everybody is finding their roles and their niche on the show, and they're trying to do better at the show. And since they brought back BTS, I can't really speak on all the other co-hosts, but on BTS, y'all have to just openly be yourselves because they're getting it twisted. The acting that they were starting to do towards the end of the BTS before they revamped it was what they should have been doing on the Ian and Mark show if they got the opportunity. The BTS was solely the conversations that we have in the kitchen. I was trying to make privy to the public. And of course, we're not going to let anything too salacious get out there. But I, for years on this podcast, was saying that we give it up in the kitchen. We give it up in the kitchen. And now because of the BTS and we see how y'all niggas is acting, it doesn't seem like anything's being given up in the kitchen. And if you haven't noticed, Joe has started making the segue. This is why he's joining the spaces, and Mark Lamar Hill is joining spaces and feeding us information, quote unquote. We're feeding the pod, and that's a damn shame. How many episodes have you seen on the Joe Budden podcast that have come from topics that people talk on in the community of the Joe Budden podcast? So Ian and Mark show, using the drama that's happening on the show and their show, it's just keeping the whole universe alive, and I think it's a dope idea. I think it's smart. But like I said, if I'm Melyssa Ford and I'm seeing that they're taking all these shots at me, I'm seeing the addition of Mona, I'm seeing Sasha, I'm seeing how the guys are quote unquote vibing without me, there's a lot of questions that I need answered upon my return, if I make that return. Like I said, I don't know. I'm trying not to speculate on it because of the hospital pick, because you don't want to throw shots out there and come to find out Melyssa Ford was in a serious car accident or some bullshit like that. But anyway, y'all let me know if y'all saw today's episode. Y'all let me know if y'all plan on watching this episode anytime soon, or do y'all watch Ian and Mark's show at all? Am I overhyping these episodes, or do you find that they're getting better and better with each one? Because I do. Once I saw they changed the camera editing, or at least how they shot the show, I was like, oh, they're putting something into this for real. So I'm glad I'll start from episode 1. But like the video if you like the video. Subscribe to the page if you haven't. If you have, you already know how we rocking. You already know what it is over here. I got my son's football game today, guys. I'm sorry for being a little late. If there is a Patreon episode, it will be uploaded after the game. Once again, I apologize, and I'll see y'all soon. Y'all be safe out here. Peace. I could be bugging, but I did make mention of the Anthony Edwards Adidas commercial the last episode, and Mark asked all the questions that I asked on that episode on the pod. So let me say this. Should we be concerned that the Joe Budden Network logo isn't on the Ian and Mark show anymore? And not concerned in a negative light. By all means, I'm not speaking negatively. But Joe keeps speaking on Emmy. They've upped the production and the editing and the writing and everything on this show. And now all of a sudden there's no network logo. Let's make sure we pay attention to that, guys. I'll see y'all soon.